Okay, now let's get to hurricanes. Because Al Gore claims that there's a new, strong, emerging consensus that global warming is increasing the intensity and duration of hurricanes. And the truth here is that there is no consensus. I'm going to read you a statement by 120 hurricanes experts at a November 2006 meeting of the World Meteorological Organization. They say the possibility that greenhouse gas-induced global warming may have already caused a substantial increase in some tropical cyclone indices has been raised, but no consensus has been reached. So the consensus of the scientists is no consensus. And this slide that I'm showing you here just shows a number of studies which show that there is a very strong debate going on here, but nothing like a consensus. And this one slide comes from one of these studies, which found that in the over the last 20 years or so, there has been an intensification of hurricanes in the North Atlantic, but a decline in hurricane intensity in the Northeast Pacific, and basically no change anywhere else. Gore tells us that one of the most significant findings recently is that the number of major hurricanes, those are the really strong ones in the category of 4 and 5, has been increasing since 1970. Okay, well, there's one hurricane basin where we have the best data, and that's right here in the good old US of A, the Atlantic Hurricane Basin. And my colleague, Pat Michaels, who is the Virginia State climatologist, looked at a longer data set. In other words, he looked at hurricane strength not just back to 1970, but all the way back to 1940. And when he extended this range of information, he found that the number of strong hurricanes in the period from 1940 to 1970 was just about the same as the number from 1970 to today. Similarly, the percentage of strong hurricanes was pretty much the same in both periods. So what we're seeing in recent years may very well be the uptick of a natural cycle rather than some long-term trend towards stronger hurricanes. And I just want to make one final observation on hurricanes, which is, you may remember in the film, Al Gore gets very solemn at one point and says, "And then came Katrina. The consequences were horrendous. There are no words to describe them." And that's certainly true, but that can be said of every natural disaster. Here is a photograph of the Galveston, Texas hurricane of September 1900. 6,000 to 8,000 deaths, total devastation. The point to remember about Katrina is that by the time Katrina actually made landfall, it had been downgraded from a Category 5 to a Category 3 storm. What made Katrina so deadly was not the extra oomph that it allegedly got from global warming. It's that the federal government and all levels of government had failed to build adequate hurricane and flood defenses for the city of New Orleans since the 1970s. Since the 1970s, the experts have known that the existing system of levees and dikes was inadequate to deal with a big storm. So this is the anthropogenic factor here that made Katrina so deadly was not global warming, it was government failure.